Hello, everybody. I hope my video finds you well. Thank you for tuning in for the first time or coming back. Either way, I'm really glad that you're here. And I'm really excited today to talk to you about calendar management and ideal calendar. Before we dive into everything, if you have not done so already, make sure you click on our subscribe button so you can continue to follow me with more tips from Coaching with Kelly. I'm Kelly. So let's talk about the calendar, an ideal calendar. What does that mean? How do you build one? But most importantly, how do you honor it? I'm going to share with you some of the best practices that I have learned from managing my own ideal calendar and from a lot of the sales reps that I have coached and how they have managed their ideal calendars. Because our greatest asset is time, and we're in careers by choice. And we have to get a lot done. Therefore, we have to manage our minutes, and it can be very, very difficult. Okay, so let's start first on why do we build an ideal calendar. It's one thing to build one, but it's more important and impactful to understand why we build it. There's a lot that needs to get done, just not in our business lives, but in our personal lives. This can be whether it's just you and you're single, whether you are married or with a partner, or you've got 1,000 kiddos running in every different direction. Our lives are really busy and they can get out of control if we don't control them. And when we have a calendar that allows us to be purposeful at work and we know what to do when we do it, we can work when we're at work, and then when we go home, we can be at home. And having that work-life balance is so important in any successful sales career. And so we really want to build that ideal calendar to give us peace and to know what we need to do every day. There's a lot of clarity in that, and there's a lot of peace in that. My top reps have shared with me. So how do we start? Where do we start? Regardless if you're at home or the office, start first with your personal items. And sometimes people are like, why would I put my personal items in there? Because they have to get done, and work-life balance is important. And when I mean personal items, I don't mean in the middle of the day, go run 5 errands or pick up your dry cleaning or go to the grocery store or pick up an online order. This is more of the personal stuff that helps with your mind and your body. So an example of that could be every Wednesday morning, you're a part of a Bible study. Block that off in your calendar. Maybe on Tuesdays and Thursdays, you work out in the gym in the morning. Put that in your calendar. You drop off and pick up kiddos from school. Put that in your calendar. Even if you're like, I know that I do that every day, I don't need to put it in. Put it in. You need to see when you start work and when you stop work. And then after that, put any meetings that you have to do, maybe aren't your favorite to do, but you have to do. So for example, if you have an assistant or a partner in your business or somebody within your organization that you need to meet with either on a daily or weekly basis to just kind of keep that train on the track, put that in there. I have some reps that need to block off lunch or need a 30-minute to just catch their breath and to give their brain a break. Put that in there. And then after that, I want you to really think about, what do you want for your business? If you're in sales, typically this equates to how many meetings do you want to keep? You should know your ratios. If you do not know your ratios, we can talk about that in a future video, how to calculate those, why those are important and impactful, but to know how many meetings you need to keep in order to get the results from your sales. So let's say, for example, you need to keep 15 meetings per week in order to not only hit, but exceed your goals for the year. Awesome. Now we know that number. This is in any sales, this is a momentum business. So start to block those off in ideal times for you. What does that mean when I say ideal times for you? There are some reps that I work with that love to get after it in the morning. They'll have a 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock meeting. There are some reps that based on their personal lives can't start till 9, 10, and 11. That's okay. Some reps do a lot of bi-coastal work. So maybe if I'm on the West Coast and I got an East Coast meeting, I got to block that off differently or reverse that. Know that in your mind and keep that in there. A lot of salespeople also need to do phoning and reach outs to book new meetings and also to get new clients. Put that in your calendar. And here's what I want you to think of when you're blocking off your calendar. Every slot you have to honor it. You have to manage your time and the expectations within your time. Any rep that I have ever coached The majority of them always do an onboarding call with me just to make sure that we're in alignment and we can understand the relationship. 100% of the reps would tell you that one of the things I say every single time is I am never going to make you late and you are never going to make me late. I live and die by my calendar, and I expect the people I work with to do the same. If you are 5 minutes late, you've missed the meeting. And when you set that expectation, I will tell you people for the most part honor it. Now, you might say to me, well, Kelly, that's great because they're reps that you're coaching, but what about when it's a client I have? How do I manage that time? How do I set that expectation? So when you start whatever meeting, whether it's a Zoom meeting or an in-person meeting, let's say it's 2:00. I got a hard stop at 3 because I have another meeting, so I need to get us started. And if they start to get, little gib-gabby within that meeting, which we can all do, is to stop them in that meeting and say, hey, just as a reminder, I got a hard stop at 3. I could talk about this all day long, but we got to keep going. And so set your expectation for time on your calendar. It will help you manage your calendar. Now, if you're at home, it can be, for some, easier to manage this because you don't have the distraction of your coworkers, but you do have the distraction of your home. And make sure that you schedule your calendar in ways that your home will not distract you. So if you're someone who's like, I gotta flip the laundry, I gotta start making a meal, I could pick up here, I could get distracted by this, schedule that in to do the things that your home needs to do to run. So when you're at work, you are at work. If you have ever read the book, The Secret, it's by Earl Nightingale. Earl Nightingale said once, and it was brilliant. He said, I start every day with writing down what I need to do, and then I check it off and I'm done. Why is that brilliant? Because he knows what he needs to do in order to be successful, and when he's done, he's done. There's also an author by the name of Bob Proctor who watched him and said that Earl got more done in a day than most people did in a week. Because when Earl went into his business day, he was very clear on what needed to be accomplished in order to consider that day a success. And that's all he did. He didn't get distracted by outside noise. If there was something that needed to be done tomorrow, he would worry about tomorrow. And today, these are the tasks that we need to complete in order to be successful. So what if you're in an office? What if you're in a big office with cubicles and noise and distractions? How do you handle that? What if you've blocked off 10 to 11 to do some proposals, to respond to emails, to call clients, whatever you have blocked off, and everyone around you would be like, hey, Kelly, hey, Kelly, hey, Kelly. There's a couple things you can do, and everybody's wired different. If it was me, I'd be like, hey, I'm busy for the next hour. I can't talk. If you need me, talk to me at lunch or first thing in the morning. And I would just set the expectations clear that I'm not here to chit chat. I'm here to work. Not everybody is as direct, and I get that. But here's the good news, my friend. We live in the world of earbuds. All you have to do is put in your earbuds in your ears. You don't even have to have anything going on. And if someone tries to talk to you, point to your earbud. All that means is like, I could be on the phone. I could be listening to something. I don't have to talk to you, and don't get distracted by people. I would tell you that where I see the majority of anyone in sales making mistakes in their calendar is with chit-chatting and or social media. Social media, YouTube being one of them, can be amazing. We have access to so much wonderful information at our fingertips, but it can also be very, very distracting. So you have to make sure you are disciplined to not be on social media. Put your phone away from you when you're working on a task. If it's important and it's an emergency, people will keep calling. You will figure it out. You don't have to respond to a text in 2 seconds. You got to stay focused on work. Another way to figure out if you're successful within your calendar, meaning the calendar that I built, and now I'm implementing that calendar, is that calendar working? And one of the wonderful things that Jim teaches is something called billable hours. And he walks through not only what billable hours is, but most importantly, how to calculate that. And you can find that video on our Academy. And you can subscribe to the Academy and get full access to that billable hours video. And it's been unbelievable and super helpful to our top performing reps, because they want to know, out of all the hours I'm working, am I getting paid? And if I'm not getting paid, what am I doing instead that is wasting my time, or I should be delegating elsewhere? So here's just a recap of what I want you to think of when you're building your ideal calendar. Does it give me a work-life balance? And most importantly, when I look at it, after I've built it, do I have the internal feeling of not if, but when I execute this calendar, my life is awesome. And I've removed a lot of the stressors that are in my life. And then most importantly, how am I going to honor this calendar on a daily basis so I can continue to be successful within my business and have less stress as I go throughout my day? I hope this was helpful. Stay tuned for more videos. I hope everyone crushes today in the face, and God bless you all.